Bam, we're live. There we go. Make sure we got the lighting right. Welcome to day 48. Let me raise this desk a little bit. Hope everybody's having an amazing day and week. We are cruising through. So day 50 will be a fun one as well. I appreciate those of you that have been tuning in. If it ever seems overwhelming, all you got to do is just go back and just watch from the beginning because the prompts build on each other, right? So this is a good one as well. You come across a lot. People will say, I've tried ads. My ads didn't work. Advertising doesn't work. I put ads out, and ads are only as good as the person that creates them. They're only as good as the hook, the story, the offer. So there's components to ads, and I share that because like I said in one of the other episodes, I was very fortunate in the very early days. I got to work for one of the world's largest publishing and advertising company, and they trained us on effective copywriting, headlines, and how to write a proper ad. So just putting together an ad and saying to someone, hey, we do this is not enough, right? So if you've advertised and you're like, that didn't work, it's because either your hook was wrong, your story was wrong, your offer was wrong. And it takes many iterations to come up with the actual formula that works. So there's a real science to it. And it is like any other discipline. You just don't know what you don't know until you get into it. So again, I cannot stress enough how many it's very remodeling is one of those industries where just so many people are like, yeah, but we ran ads. We've tried that. We do our own ads. We can't afford to hire a copywriter. We can't afford this. And what you end up doing is you're penny pinching and you're killing your business. The best thing that you can do when you don't know how to do something, instead of trying to go cheap, you should hire a professional to do it short term for you. Like have them run one ad for you and ask them to explain the process, how they came up with it. And then once you have the ad that has the proper copy, it has the hook, it has the story, the offer, you took the time to do the exercise to come up with the ideal client. Well, then, yeah, you could try running the ad yourself here and there. And yeah, there's other nuances. Not all ads are going to perform the same on all platforms, right? There's a certain kind of ad that you do for print. There's a certain kind of ad style that you'll do on Instagram that's different than you do for Facebook or TikTok. That you have to alter the ads because there's different audiences and people are in different moods when they're on these different platforms. And also, just because you have a big audience, it doesn't mean you're going to attract them. It doesn't mean that they're even the right audience, right? I may have a lot of subscribers on one channel, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be the ideal client or customer or prospect for the offer that I'm putting out. So you have to understand there's a lot of nuances. Anyway, let's get started. Welcome. And please, by all means, all you have to ever do is reach out and we will help you with your campaigns. We can handle the entire process. You're probably on information overload. There are so many agencies that want to help you. And understand that what the agency typically has is they have someone that's ran a few Facebook ads. They have someone that's ran a few Instagram ads. They understand the nuances behind the scenes, how to make it all work. It's complicated, right? Facebook is very complicated. Meta, and I don't know if they do that on purpose or not, but it's only getting more complicated. And a lot of these agencies, if they don't understand your market and they don't understand your service and they don't understand your client, then they are going to mess up and the ads are going to be a waste of money as well. And what's so interesting is it's happened to me recently. So I have a funnel ad, quiz funnel that helps me sift through and find good contractors to work with, right? For my clients. And the amount of different funnel building quiz funnel software packages that we've had to try is It's infuriating. It's frustrating because many of them put together the most amazing ad copy. And you're like, yeah, that says it does this. It says it does that. It's going to be perfect. It's just what we want. And then you get into it and you realize it doesn't do any of the things that you wanted. They were really good at bringing you in. So a lot of these agencies have amazing ads and then they don't deliver on any of it on the back end. So there's two sides to every coin. You have to be very cautious about who you hire or you're going to pay money to do your ad campaigns for you and run your digital, presence because they might just be good at marketing and kept bringing you on, like hooking you. They dangle the lure. Here you go. And then you bite, right? And then you're cooked because it wasn't real bait. You know what I'm saying? All right. So it is a challenging situation. And the problem is you don't know what you don't know. So always be a little cautious unless the person that you're going with really understands the market, understands the concepts, and then understands the application. And when you find that, then you can trust that person. And that's when you go in and you go, okay, I'm going to make the investment. That's when you say, yeah, 5,000, 10,000, 15, whatever, 20,000 for the marketing campaign. We're doing it because you know it's going to produce. You're going to get that money back. It's an investment and it's not an expense. But if you're just picking random people off of ads, to try to hire to be your agency or do it, it's a shot in the dark. You go small, okay? If you don't know. All right, here we go. Let's get up here. Day 48. So this is a part one. There's going to be follow-up episodes down the road. Understand this is a big concept to try to tackle all at once. So tonight we won't be here long, but understand that there's a lot to unpack here. So I've tailored this one to luxury. So let's say that you're a luxury design company and maybe you do accent walls. Okay, you have a niche. Sure, you do luxury kitchens, you do luxury baths, but your flair, what you're known for is you do that luxury accent wall, right? You do the great room, the bedroom, the dining room, whatever. Offices. So let's say you've built this successful business and you create stunning work, the kind of luxury accent walls, the interiors that, you have other influencers, celebrities as clients. You have homeowners that say, wow, I want that. And they purchase it from you. All right. And then understand that deep down, what do you do when you know something isn't clicking? Let's say that you're that. And there's a lot of people in this place right now. So I come across this a lot in the Facebook groups and in clients that I work with. Many of you got into the industry during the COVID times, we'll call it. So when everyone was forced to be home, money was cheap, and all of a sudden, everyone had to remodel their home quickly. They had to build a home office, right? They had to redo their kitchen because they're home all the time. They had to build the addition. They had to add the swimming pool, do the backyard patio. We saw it was a gold rush for home remodeling. And here's what happened because so many people were forced to be home and then they're at their home and they hate their home. And all of a sudden, like, well, I'm working from home. I can't go anywhere else. I can't go to any other public pool or park. I have to make this the place. So a ton of money was spent. So anyone that had a hammer basically could go out and be successful in remodeling. And many of you launched your business at that time. And you walk around today going, well, hey, our first 2 years, we killed it. We know what we're doing. And I would say that at the end of the day, don't strain yourself, patting yourself on the back. Sure, you do good things, you have some talents, but you also probably benefited from a market and you just happened to be lucky when you started. And now you're seeing a real remodeling market that typically exists. And now you're understanding, God, we really need business acumen. We really need business skills because it's hard, right? And if you've flatlined or even watching your sales dip, understand that that's a tough road to rebound from if you don't get business skills in place. All right. So here you are. Deep down, you just know something's not right. right? Sure, you're getting some jobs, but it's a struggle, right? The customers, you feel like they're beating you up all the time. They want discounts. They're not the right type of customer in the first place. And they're not your dream client, but it's not the right project even, and you're confused. Like, what is going on? You get all these price shoppers asking for discounts, and then you're convinced that the whole market is out to get you, and there's all these cheap contractors undercutting you. You got people ghosting you. You got jobs that just feel like everything's just a race to the bottom. You're having trouble. You don't know how to hire the right people to run anything within the business. So you're trying to do it all yourself, and you understand some things and you're really good in one area, but you're not so good in another. So now your efforts aren't all that great because, that's just not your area of expertise and you shouldn't be playing in it. And the worst part, you're probably working harder than you've ever worked before, and yet you feel like you're not getting anywhere, and there's less money on the table now than there ever was. So let's talk about the silent trap of the luxury marketing done wrong. What happens, right? So here's the hard truth. A lot of luxury contractors just, unfortunately, you have to learn it the hard way. And here's what happens. Our egos get in the way. Sometimes somebody will notice that they could help your business, and they'll reach out to you and say, "Hey, I noticed you're doing this. And if we made these changes," and you'll discount it because your ego doesn't want the help. You're like, I know what I'm doing. I'm fine. And then a year later, you're like, well, wait a minute. Like, maybe I don't know what I'm doing because I'm struggling again. And yet it's easy for someone else to diagnose, but it's hard for us to see it when it's our own issue. So I go through this with growing any of my business as well. I have to stop and say, Mike, you got to go hire the expert and just trust them. Get out of your own way. Because if you were the expert, you'd be where you wanted to be. So that's your clue. Here you are, you're a business owner. If you're not where you expected or wanted to be, then you have to say to yourself, damn, I'm my own problem. I am getting in the way. Me and my business partners, my team, we suck. Sure, we do this really good, but we're not all that good because we're struggling and we need to get experts. And that's what you do. That's how teams and businesses grow. So let's look at this. The hard truth. You showcase, you put out this high end work. You're a luxury brand. But what if happens when you're marketing like a bargain brand? So you're trying to take this luxurious product, but yet you're trying to sell it as a bargain. What happens? You don't attract the luxury market. You attract the bargain shoppers because it's how you're marketing. And you're not even aware of this. You just think you're advertising. Hey, that's what you do. You put out a nice post, you run a sale, you tell people we'll give them a discount, that'll bring them in. And then you're like, but everybody's cheap. Well, yeah, because cheap people chase sales. I'll give you a good example. I typically don't want to go anywhere there's a sale. I would rather pay full price because I know I'll get better service. And because I understand what it's like to run a real business. And I know if the business owner is offering all these discounts and sales, they're probably struggling. And I'm probably something along the way is going to be crap. It's not worth it. I want to go to the person who understands how to run their business and sells a great product. I don't want a sale. I don't want to go get half price crab cakes because I've understood now what happens. Those are the crabs that are about to go bad, right? If seafood is half price on Wednesday, it's because they really should have sold it on Saturday, but they couldn't. And now it's about to spoil. That's why it's half price, because you're getting an inferior product. So when you start recognizing that, you're like, I don't want to buy the sale. No, sir. There is something wrong with it. It's inferior. You see what I mean? And I don't want to buy from a business that doesn't understand marketing and is going to be racing themselves to the bottom. No, I take it. I'm going to pay full price because I value quality. That's what you want to look for. And this is a weird mindset. And if you're a business owner, the sooner you get this, the better you'll be. You do not want to discount your service, nor do you want to be enticed to go buy other people's discounted services. Because if they're discounting, they're struggling because they're chasing. You want to work with somebody that says, my price is my price because there's value behind my price because I deliver a quality product. That's why I've priced it that, because I'm a professional. So I know what it costs. All right. You don't see Ruth Chris with a dollar menu, right? It's real. It's good food. It's amazing service. That's why you go there and you pay for it. But you walk out of there and you're happy you did. I don't know people that walk out of Ruth Chris and say, "Yeah, that was a mistake." Some people just have a mindset issue where they're uncomfortable spending the money because they live in a cheap world with their focus. Everything on their mind is cheap. I want cheap. I want a discount. No. I would tell you to start looking at life differently and go, you know what? I want value. I want to get the best thing that I can get for my money. Buy less, but appreciate it. Buy good. So don't follow up with flash discounts, giveaways, or last minute promos just to try to book and fill a schedule. The result is clients can tell you're desperate, and then the bargain hunters show up first, and they're just going to want to beat your price up even more. It doesn't matter how cheap it is, it's never cheap enough. So there's always someone that's going to do it for less. And there's always, it's either you or your competitor that's just one job away from going out of business, or 1 month, right? Or one shift in the economy, or one war. What if we get attacked tomorrow and all of a sudden everything shuts down for 60 days, 90 days, right? Then you're going to wish you weren't discounting. You're going to say, man, we should have been building up our bank account and building up our war chest. You need wheelbarrows full of cash to keep that business afloat. So your luxury clients scroll right past your discount ad thinking, well, if they're discounting it like a mattress store, then it can't be all that premium of experience. I want quality. I want to be treated like I want a luxury experience. I want it to be first class. That's why people pay more money for first class, because they want less problems. They want a better experience. Does that make sense? People with money don't try to buy the cheapest seat in the back. Nah. People that value their time and they buy the first class seat because they value the experience. It's how they're being treated. They feel better about spending more money for a better service. Do you hear that? So here you are. You offer this. You have a great product. You have talented carpenters that work for you. You and your staff are really good at delivering a great product, and you're shooting yourself in the foot because you're trying to sell it as a cheap product, and you wonder why the luxury clients out there are going with other people and not going with you. They don't even call you when they see your ad. I don't. When I'm looking to hire people, I don't want the cheap. I want the best value. I want the person that values the quality. I want the best experience. I want the least amount of headaches. And people are like, that's baloney. No, it's not, because you learn over time that you want it done right. And you want it done right the first time. And life is short, and we're not here for an infinite amount of time. And I want better experiences. So you learn to value everything, make better investments. So what feels like a short-term cash flow fix is actually training your audience to just expect cheap. And then they look at you like a bargain store, and then they're never happy. So that's your first step to that remodeler's graveyard of the endless price wars. So why does this keep happening? It's not your craftsmanship. It's not necessarily your reputation, although it becomes it over time if you keep it up. You got to fix your messaging and your positioning. Luxury buyers and bargain hunters think differently and are attracted to different types of ad copy and headlines and hooks and stories and offers, right? So your high-end client, they want status, quality, peace of mind. They want to separate themselves. They don't want to tell their friends that they hired the discount brand to build their luxury wall. They want to hire the company that couldn't get to them. I couldn't get these guys are so good. This company is so booked. Man, I had to do everything. I had to pay extra to get them to do my luxury wall. Do you see what I mean? That's the exclusivity that you want. You create that. So the high-end client fears the hassles, fears delays, or hiring the wrong team. They'll pay extra to guarantee that it goes smoother. And they're repelled by discount language. Anything cheap just ruins their dream. No, they've worked hard for their money. They've worked hard to get where they are, and they want a good experience. So they're going to spend their money for it. And most of them, it's easier to make more money because they already figured that game out. But your bargain hunters, they want it cheap. They want it fast. They fear overpaying no matter what the result. They only respond to the flash sales. So when you put an ad out and it is hook, they're part of its, messaging is flash sale. Who do you think is calling you? That is why you're like, all my clients just want cheap. Yeah, because your ad only spoke to them. Hopefully this is sinking in. So if your ads or posts try to speak to both, you will always default to price shoppers. They will bleed you and your energy and your profit dry. What I want to do is play this real quick for you, and listen and play this over and over again until you understand it and you align it with your company mission and ads. This is from my TikTok account. Let me play it. Hold on.
If you're talking to someone with a poor mindset, focus on deals, affordability.
All right.
Contractors, if you're selling the same way to everyone, you're losing money. Listen up. If you're talking to someone with a poor mindset, focus on deals, affordability, and discounts. Help them feel good about getting an amazing deal. But if you're selling to someone wealthy, it's all about outcomes. Talk ROI, time savings, and peace of mind. For both groups, always remove fear. Use guarantees, drop some testimonials, offer payment plans. Your offer should feel like the smart move, not the risky one. Break down your process, keep it simple, and yes, use deadlines or limited spots to help trigger immediate action. Poor mindsets run from pain, wealthy ones run towards profit. Which one are you selling to, and are you saying the right thing? If this shifted your thinking, drop a comment and follow me for more sales psychology that actually works. If this hits home, let me know. And remember, I post videos like this daily, so like and follow for more tips just like this.
All right. So hopefully you're able to follow that and understand how psychology works and human behavior. People usually buy from emotions, and it's where their status is, and it depends on the product that you're selling. You just don't see BMW typically offering a sale. That's not their customer. Their customer doesn't want to buy it cheap. Their customer fears it coming cheap. If BMW started discounting and it would ruin the brand, people drive a BMW because it's luxury. BMW just makes up the price to make it higher. They could sell it for cheaper if they wanted to put out a cheaper product. They don't. They sell a luxury brand, so they have to keep the price high. And their customers want it to be high because otherwise it diminishes its value. It's the reason why a lot of you buy designer clothes or you go to fancy restaurants, right? A salad is a salad at a lot of places other than like the accoutrements, right? Like this little extra, that little extra. But you go for the experience. And if all of a sudden everyone's discounting and they have to lessen the service, then you don't want to be there. All right. So the cost of playing the wrong game. Every time you drop a limited sale or beg for work online, a few things happen. You erode the luxury perception you've worked so hard to build. High-end clients stop trusting you to deliver a premium experience. You get trapped in the race to the bottom cycle where the lowest price always wins, but nobody wins for long. You never hear the contractor that's like, yeah, I'm always the lowest price, and that's why I've been in the business forever. It doesn't happen. It's a never-ending circle. Every 3 years, every 6 years, out of business, out of business. There's a company that used to be in my area. Their advertised slogan was cheapest guy in town. They're not in business anymore. I mean, anyway, I had another friend. His thing was, I'll beat your competition by 10%. Whatever it is, I'll beat the lowest bid by 10%. He's not in business anymore. It doesn't work long term. It doesn't work at all. Yeah, you get a job, but you would be better off fishing or going to work for someone else than selling for such a cheap price, because you can't ever make that time back up. If you spend 2 weeks not working for the proper profit, you don't make that up. It's not like you can go typically sell the next person at such a higher markup because you don't have that skill set in the first place. So let's see. So you're here. You're eroding your luxury perception that you worked hard for. You have high-end clients. They stop trusting you to deliver the premium experience, so they don't even call. You get trapped in that race to the bottom cycle, and you feel it, right? The stress and the chaos of chasing leads, the frustration of doing amazing work for clients who really don't value you. And when all your leads are cheap, you're in a tough position because you have to sell somebody something, and you're beating yourself up, and it doesn't have to be that way. So the sinking thought that you're busier than ever, but you're not profitable. The good news is you don't have to reinvent yourself. Solution is a lot simpler than you think. Just stop marketing like a discount brand. Stop speaking to the cheap and start speaking the language of real luxury buyers. So use a system and a messaging that will attract the clients who already value the high-end luxury service that you do. So you don't need to become this marketing genius overnight. You just need a proven framework that does the heavy lifting for you, so that all you have to do is execute with confidence. And that's exactly what we do when we start building the AI prompt challenge. So here's your today's quick checklist. You're going to look at your last 3 posts or ads and ask yourself, would a high-end client feel this is speaking to them, or a deal hunter? Am I showing off premium work and then undercutting myself with discount language? If I were my own dream client, would I trust this company to deliver luxury at full value? If I were honest, answer stings a little, right? If the honest answer stings a little, good. The answer and the awareness is that the first step of flipping your marketing is going from desperate to in demand. So we're going to follow up later with more information for you about the hook, the story, the offer formula, and get into like building your client avatar. So just follow that. So if this hits home, the truth is the longer you market to the wrong clients, the more visible you become to the ones willing to pay you for your true worth. Fixing it starts now. So for your assignment, you're going to put in this prompt where you're going to say, please analyze, this is my marketing message. And you're going to put it into the AI prompt. Okay. Explain your ad copy or the way your ad rolls out. Some of the AI machines can process, you can attach a screenshot, a photo, an image. You can attach the script from your video. Some you can even attach the video and it can process it and watch it. Some can't. But give it the data, give it the storyboard, give it the script, tell it what your intended purpose was, and ask it if it's in alignment. And then say, this is what I'm trying to do. So explain to it, I'm trying to attract this type of buyer, right? Do you go after the luxury market? Tell chat or whatever AI agent you're using, explain to it what your target demographic is, your client, your ideal client. How much money do they make? What type of profession or job do they have? What neighborhoods do they live in? What is their house like? What kind of cars do they drive? What kind of clothes do they like? Where do they like to eat? All those things. Put all of that in there. And that way it understands who your target demographic is, your target market, and it can build your ideal client avatar for you. Right. And then you ask it, are my ads in alignment with the type of client that I'm trying to attract? And if it is, what else can I do? If it's not, what do I need to change? Right? How do I change it? What should it be? How should I do it? And then ask it for the weaknesses in your plan and what you could do to be better. Ask it to analyze. If you have competition in your area, I would take their ads and ask the AI agent to break it down. Say, this is what I know about the company. Here's what their about page says about them. This is what their website says. This is what their blog articles talk about. These are their ads. Are their ads and their copy in alignment with who they are, what their mission and value, and who their ideal client is? When you start reading people's websites or looking at their social media, often if they're on brand, if they're on point, you can really start clearly seeing who their ideal client is, because the message is either going to speak to you or it isn't. If it speaks to you, then you can start being, I might be their ideal client because this all makes sense to me. If it doesn't speak to you, you go, that's interesting. It's not that they're a bad company. It's they're not trying to attract you as a client. Their ideal client is different. Or it could mean that they don't know what they're doing. So, I mean, it's not black or white. It's always a shade of gray. All right. This is powerful stuff. It's what moves the needle one way or the other. So I know some people, at first, a lot of this can feel overwhelming. This is why people that have successful businesses hire experts and to run their business for them and help them, right? They have a marketing department or a marketing agency that they go to. Think about this. If you could contact us at the Remodeling Academy and say, hey, Mike, we're struggling. We need to bring in more leads. And this, we're willing to invest some money because we want the result. And imagine if we said, great, we can do that for you. We'll put it together. Here you go. Here's your ads. Here's your copy. Here's how often you should run them. These are the platforms you should run them on. And then all you have to do is follow up with the sales call. And it's going to bring in the right client because we're going to have ways to weed out the client. We teach you the weed the lead process, right? And you learn how to ballpark over the phone. You learn how to present a paid presentation. And the next thing you know, your whole business changes. Or you keep doing it the way you were doing it and you just hope. You run off a hopium, right? A lot of you guys, you're running around as a hopium addict. You're just hoping business is going to get better. Well, I hope this ad does it, because you have no strategy, no plan other than hope. So if you're addicted to hope, there's help. And that help is over here at the Remodeling Academy. We'll put it together for you. All right. Reach out. You don't have to struggle. You can succeed. Have a good one.